Yo, it's Elut, and welcome back to my Forced Units Only hard mode run of Radiant Dawn. This is part 3, chapter 4. Just a couple of buddies, a couple of dudes, guys being dudes. It's Ike, and Ranulf finally joins us as Forced Units. And the objective of this chapter is going to be to have both of them hit an arrive point. So we will have to use both of them, more or less. Check the bargain shop, really nothing that important. And we're basically just getting some good weapons and stuff for Ike. But the thing here is we can't put any skills on Ranulf yet, because he technically doesn't join until the map starts. Or we get to the preps of the map, I should say. I think we do keep pass on Ike, though. That can be pretty helpful. And if I'm not mistaken, we give celerity to Ranulf. To help maybe speed things up a little bit. And as you saw, we bought a bunch of steel blades. If you know me, I'm a big fan of steel blades. So yeah, Ranulf is here now. Undeploy everybody else. And then we go back to base. And I forgot I left it on Har, I believe. There it is, yeah. Don't lose that. Thank you, Har, by the way, for helping us cheat the last map. Necessary cheating. It's okay. Still an interesting chapter, though. And I think I'm just deciding if I want to give him something else, but... Oh yeah, Smite. You may as well take that, too. I don't know how important that is. I don't really remember, but, you know, Smite is funny. I love shoves. And Ranulf is honestly pretty set. It's nice that he comes with Olivia Grass. We actually will give him a Laguz Stone just in case, because this map is easier if Ranulf can be put to some use. And I've talked about Laguz gauges a little bit earlier in this run, but I guess since Ranulf is here and forced, I can talk about it a little bit more now. Essentially, every type of Laguz has a different speed gauge. They all cap out at 30, and minimum is 0, but they gain and lose different values depending on like the species, I guess, if you want to use that word. I don't know what else to call it. And Ranulf is a cat, which means his gauge goes out way faster than everybody else's. It's actually like really bad. So we have to make sure that he's always active when we need him to be active with certain items and things like that. Oh, unlucky crit, bro. But yeah, there are a few green units on this map. Not enough to really make a difference anywhere. They die off pretty fast most of the time. I think that crit was a little unlucky, but it doesn't really affect our plans all that much. Ranulf, as you can see, has Ford Syndrome, which if you don't know what that is, I'll let you know. It means he's very close to one-rounding things, but just doesn't. And it makes it even more infuriating. I'd almost prefer him to be worse and not even be close. But anyways, we're just gonna march up and kill stuff mostly on the left side. There's really not too much incentive to go to the right side, especially with all the cliffs and the mages and things. The reason we brought Pass on Ike is because since Ike can always contribute to the fight, we don't have to worry about gauges and things. He's probably going to be the best one to pass up to the left side cliff where that first ballista is, and he can kill one of the mages or something, which will allow Ranulf to follow him better and things like that. Keep it moving. Oh, that guy's dead. For sure. Rip in peace, my friend. Yeah, you see, after almost 2 turns, Ranulf is basically out of gauge. It's kind of a nuisance. Here is honestly Ranulf's best showing. in the whole time that we're forced to use him. So I don't want to hate on him too hard, but it's something to note. He only really gets worse from here. And I suppose in this context, there could be some argument. Yeah, so he's already done. It's turn 3. Jeez, man. I'm sure there's some argument to be had about investing in Ranulf a lot, just to make it easier when he is around. But I don't really think it's worth it. I didn't find it to be super worth it most of the time, because in some later maps, even where Ranulf is forced, it's just kind of easier to kill everything with Ike. The only reason here that we're actually making use of him is because he has to arrive, so if he has to make his way up there anyway, he may as well be contributing in some kind of meaningful way. But he grows really slow because Legu's XP, and at his level, is very, very slow. You saw he was getting like 1 XP per combat. He was gaining, he was losing more gauge than he was gaining back in XP, and that's not really a good combo. It's not my favorite thing. But cats are notoriously pretty bad about that, in Radiant Dawn especially, so it's not just him. He is definitely the best cat in the game, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. That's like saying someone's the best armor knight in a game. It really doesn't excite most people, I would say. And of course, he is super weak to fire mages. Not that Ike does a super great job against them, but again, we have the Brave Sword, so we can avoid counters and things like that, make it a little bit safer for him. Smite just for funsies, but I think that'll actually help him get up through the ledge next turn. Smite being useful. Big fan of that. But yeah, as you see, every like one range combat that Ranulf takes transformed, he loses 4 out of his gauge. But there's also, whenever the turn starts, I think he loses 3 or 4, or maybe it's even more than that. I'd have to check. Because after turn 2, he was left at 3 gauge, and then the start of turn 3, he untransformed again. So it's not super fun. But Ike having pass is really helpful there, so Ranulf can come up and kill that archer on the ballista. Not because the ballista's a threat necessarily, but, you know, less 2-range enemies for both of these guys is pretty nice to have. And that guy's going to be dead in a sec. As I said, the green units don't tend to last very long on this map. And then the worst part about the cat gauge is he still loses 4 transformed from 2-range attacks, even though he's not technically doing anything, so that's not super fun either. One thing, I guess, that is not bad compared to FE9 untransformed Legus is he will retaliate, but he doesn't get the stat up from transforming because his strength doubles when he transforms. And he also doesn't get to use his claws as might, so he's attacking with his raw strength, which is why he only did like 2 damage. So at least he does retaliate, but doesn't really change a whole lot. But we keep putting him back into transformed because it's better to have him with double stats, essentially, than to heal and be getting potentially doubled or something like that, or hit harder, for one thing. Bad level, but Ike has really good stats right now, so we're actually above average for speed on Ike. I wrote that in the description for 3-3, because I believe, if I remember correctly, Ike is supposed to have 26 speed at level 20 capped, but we're already at 27 speed, which is actually really nice. He has a 35 growth, so it's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. But it's always nice to see. And then I just checked this. I definitely don't send him up there, but okay, interesting. I think that or healing would have been a good idea. Either way, it's fine. dude. That's Ford syndrome right there, on the warrior especially. Because if he had +1 strength, then that means he gets +2 when transformed. And then since he doubled, he would have done an extra 4 damage there and killed that guy. That's Ford syndrome in a nutshell. Ah, poor guy. But yeah, we can heal here. We're fine, we're chilling. Not really very stressful or anything like that. Mage comes down, of course. His hit rate on Ranulf is not very good. It's like in the 30s. But if he does hit, it can be pretty scary. And it does make his gauge go down. And I think here he might untransform. Oh, that was close. Very lucky, Ranulf. Very lucky. Yikes. So yeah, we kill the mage. Cancel and Brave Sword. Definitely not attacking. It is nice that he at least doubles Sword Masters, though. Because if he didn't double them, but then also barely didn't one-round people he is doubling, that's, like, even worse. So I'll give him credit for that. Go for a crit there, but unlucky. It's fine. And then I think I'm wondering if I even want to put him in range of a mage, potentially, but I think he's fine either way. Oh, he's not in range. He goes for Ike. Okay. Okay. Well played, past Elut. Well played. Oh, and there's the crit, style crit. Okay, and then I think we kill the mage with somebody, I'm not sure who. That's probably pretty safe to go for. I don't think all of these guys, minus the mage, will kill Ike. Even if they did all hit, it would be kind of close, so I think it's still worth it to just go kill him here. Again, Brave Sword being pretty useful. There we go, and he won't reach. In Ike we trust. I think here we just wait a little bit. Cause I don't think it's worth a Ranulf kill here. But we revert and then Ligusta, so he's all the way back up to 30. Oh, and then the concoction trade on the boss, always a nice touch. That's always very funny. And then pass is also nice for little things like this. But yeah, see, with the Brave Sword run out, now we do have to potentially take magic attacks, but it's okay. They're pretty much all gone now. I don't think there's any left that will come up to us. But it served its purpose, so appreciate that. Okay, and then the boss here does have a 2-range sword that is not really all that scary. And it's kind of good that we got him to equip it there because he also has a killing edge. So we want to bait him at 2 range before going in at 1 range to kill. Again, the HP. But it doesn't matter. Our Ike is really good. So, Ike is really good. Not even just this Ike. Ike is really good. Again, Ranulf already at 3 gauge again. I think we just let Ike take care of both of these. For the most part. For the most part. And then here, I think by putting Ranulf there, he might still 2-range Ranulf. Just because he's not taking a counter, which is fine. That's totally fine. But so will that guy, because he is 2-range too. So everybody's still super safe. And we'll be done next turn. Alright, that's pretty much the end. Power of friendship in action. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, my dudes. But yeah, thanks for watching. That was part 3, chapter 4. I will see you next time.